and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. You know, this is kind of funny because I'm looking at the celebrations today, and there's some humor in the celebrations of the day. Barbershop Music Appreciation Day. There's not even too many barbershops around, and the one barbershop I go to, I don't think they don't even play music. You know, it's a bunch of old guys like me sitting around telling lies and fibs and stories and, you know, the whole 9 yards. You got to go and get a little shave or get your beard lined up. That's the only reason. Now, Josh has a real beard. I just have this fake thing here, you know, and I line that up and got a wedding this weekend and next weekend. So maybe I might have to go to the barbershop. I'll check and see if there's any music on over there. I don't think there will be. I don't know if Elon Musk is celebrating too much in Delaware today, so that's going to be the site of his lawsuit between him and Twitter, so we'll see what happens on that one. But you know me, having beaten anorexia, I'm looking at a couple of ways. Beans and Frank's Day. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, don't go too heavy on the beans. Might cause a problem. Just throw that out there. You would have thought that they would have had beans and Frank. Well, maybe, I don't know. French fry day. I like French fries. Where are you getting the best French fries? Put it in the chat. I personally really like Islands Restaurant. They make really good French fries. And the other question I'm going to put in there or ask you, first off, you got to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook so we know who you are even. Put your response in there. Where do you get your favorite French fries? Then put in there about your favorite dipping sauce. Now, Red Robin makes something called Campfire. I kind of like that one. My kids tend to like ranch dressing. So, you know, it's everybody likes their own in there. Put them in there for us. Let us know. Moving right along. Let's see what the markets are doing today. It's been a yo-yo day. Dow Jones Industrial Average now down 139 points. S&P 500 down 9. NASDAQ is up 2. Oil down 25 cents a barrel. Okay, watching that one. The 10-year Treasury, this has been such a yo-yo. Unbelievable. So 10-year Treasury early in the session was up over 3.05 was the yield. Now it's down at 2.95. Why did it go up so much? Why has it gone down so much? Well, the reason it went up so much early in the session was all about inflation. And if you were watching us yesterday, and I hope you were, I think we did it in the Mortgage Minute. That would be in the B block of the show. I explained to you about where inflation comes from. And I had to do it real quick because that's a small segment, but I want to spend a little time on that this morning. And if you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv or any of our socials, you're actually going to see a chart that Josh just put up on the screen talking about inflation and where it comes from. So the market was expecting an inflation rate year over year, or the monthly number to be up 1.1%. That was pretty hot because last year it was replacing a 0.9%, which means inflation has to go up by 0.2. 1.1 minus the 0.9. Had that happened, inflation would have gone up 0.2%. Well, inflation came in at 1.3%. Now, you and I we know these things. We don't need anybody to tell us what's going on in inflation. I know that the government wants to believe that they have to tell us everything. They have to hold our hand on everything, that we don't know anything. But you and I both know that when we go to the store, we're looking and we're saying, okay, gasoline prices are up 61% year over year. Electricity's up 13.7. Used cars are up 7.1. Hotels up 11.5. Apparel is up 5.2. Now, those things, some of them we can get away with. We don't need to buy a used car. We don't need a hotel. Might need some clothing. We never know. You might need to replace something. But here are items that you must have. Food. Meat is up 8.2%. Eggs are up 33.1%. Fish is up 11%. Milk up 16.4%. Fruit and vegetables up 8.1%. Coffee's up 15.8%. And you can't even get baby formula. I digress. So we all know those things are going on, but let's talk about the inflation number as a whole. So right now, we just replaced a 0.9 with a 1.3. So that blew up our inflation numbers. Now let's look back at the chart that we've got and see, okay, what are we looking at for July? Because again, we're going to replace July's number from last year. That was 0.5. Now, do you think that the prices are going to slow down? I don't think so. So if we come in at just say 1% this coming next month, right? We were 1.3 this month. If we just go 1% next month, that means we have to add another 0.5% onto whatever our number is already. August is at 0.3. Got to add, if that stays at 1%, just stays flat, we had 0.7 there. So you're getting the picture now. We've added another 1.2 on top. September, 0.4. What if that stays at 1%? So you see why I'm saying that these numbers, when they tell you that the inflation numbers have peaked, no, they haven't peaked yet, because we're going to be replacing some very, very low numbers in the next 3 months with more realistic of what's going on in the economy right now. Now, October, there's a likelihood is that October is a 0.9 if you're looking at the chart. So again, if that one stays the same or just goes up to 1, we're not going to see a huge increase. But that's why we're seeing the numbers that we're seeing in the marketplace right now. That's why inflation, no matter what they tell you, they don't want you to know the truth, right? Why would the media? They don't want to talk about that. The administration, they don't want to talk about it. And in California, we're going to try and do the exact opposite of what's needed to correct this. What does that mean? Well, what is the definition of inflation? It's too much money chasing too few goods, right? You got more money out there than you've got goods, so the price goes up. So think about that concept. What is California going to do? Send a check to everybody. Well, that's what causes inflation, right? We're adding more money to not know more goods. So that's what causes inflation. So when the governor says, oh, I want to buy your vote, I'm sorry, I'm going to send you money at the end of the year, right around election time, surprise, surprise. What he's really saying is we're going to increase inflation. Now, what is the Federal Reserve doing to that? Well, now we had been talking about a 75 basis point hike in the Fed funds rate. Now there's a 50-50 chance, looking at the futures market, of a full 1 percentage point interest rate hike. Now, if you've got a variable rate credit card and you don't pay the balance off every month, I pay my balance off on my Apple credit card each month, but that does have a variable rate. Well, they send out a note saying, well, your rate's going up because it's tied to prime rate, which is tied to the Fed funds discount rate. Watch that. Now, the next segment, we're going to talk about how I can help you save on your budget, because I know where we're going right now. I know the challenges people are facing. I'm going to share with you a scenario we just did that's going to help a family maybe $30,000, $40,000 over the next 2-3 years. Think about that one. We're going to also talk, should I buy a home right now on the town, brought to you by Visit Anaheim and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Is your budget getting blown up with high prices of gas and increased costs for other household needs? This is Ron Siegel, host of the daily home and finance radio program. Did you know if you have a low interest rate mortgage along with auto debt, credit card debt, or student loans, your family could potentially save $500 or more per month by restructuring these debts? If you'd like a free Borrow Smart analysis with our team, let's book an appointment to see how we might be able to relieve some stress. Schedule your appointment at rsrbsa.com. That's rsrbsa.com for your free Borrow Smart analysis. rsrbsa.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial when you're ready for that next home loan. Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Let's see the Mortgage Minute. The S&P 500 now down 19 points. I just saw this come across my desk. I thought it was hysterical. I just have to interrupt the Mortgage Minute right here and just throw this out here. President Biden calls June inflation reading unacceptably high if out of date. Really, Mr. President?
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Yeah, it's you got to wonder sometimes. Okay, so we did the S&P 500. The 10-year Treasury is now flat for the day. Mortgage-backed securities are up 2 basis points. What's driving this? Well, we got the Consumer Price Index, measures inflation on the consumer level, is reported at 1.3 in June, which is above expectations of 1.1, and increased by 0.5% to 9.1% year over year, exceeding the 8.8% estimate. Core CPI, for those of you that don't need food or energy, increased by 0.7% for June, which was above expectations of 0.6%, and decreased by 0.1% to 5.9 year over year, which was above the 5.7% estimate. But I forgot to tell you, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. Loans yesterday, conforming loans. This is not high balance. Conforming loans locked at 5.778. Jumbo was 5.443. 30-year FHA loans, 5.599. 30-year VA loans, for those who earned it, they get the best program out there, 5.368. USDA, that's another no down payment program, 5.614 is where those locked at yesterday. So just give you an indication on those, but going back to what's causing this market changes is I told you about the Consumer Price Index, and that's key. The Mortgage Bankers Association, they came out with their application data. This is older than what I just told you about from OBMMI because this is for the week ending July 8th, showing that overall application volume decreased by 1.7%. Applications to purchase a home were down 3.6% for the week, down 18% year over year. Refinances, increased by 2.2% from the previous week, and are 80% lower from a year ago. 80% lower.
Ow!
Why? Well, it's basically because people were just trying to get lower rates before. Now you need to understand it. And I should tell you, that's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva has the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. Yeah, that's no down payment. The veterans, no down payment. USDA, no down payment. Gotta love those things. So again, if you're putting in comments, it's really great if you put in there who you are. Let us know. All you have to do is go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, and you'll be able to identify yourself. You just give Facebook or StreamYard the option of telling us who you are so we can say hello to you and tell you we appreciate you. Okay, it's got to be Joe Ingram. This is Joe Biden, and Ron taught me to ride a bike. Yeah, you know what the bike would say if I got on a bike right now? You know what the bike would have? I'd hear a bike say this one.
Ow!
Yeah, that's all that the bike would say. But let's get on with our topic at hand today, because I want to chat with you. StreamYard is broken. They don't show names. Okay, well, Josh can find out for me. So I want to talk about this one because we're seeing refinances dropped dramatically. So what I want to show you is why, I understand where if you're just doing a rate and term refinance, yeah, it's probably not a good idea. But I want to show you a scenario. I'm going to give you, being that we're on radio as well as the as well as on our social channels and the video feeds. So what do I need? I got to give you a bird's eye view. Bird's eye view. Okay, so here's our bird's eye view of saving money because you understand strategy. You understand how to make these things work. And Josh is going to put in the presentation so you can actually go to this offline and see what I'm looking at here. But we're going to bird's eye view it through the system right now. And this is a real client. The names have been removed to protect the innocent. But he's got a property value, estimate. We don't know the exact value, $675,000. Loan amount, he's currently got a loan of $472,000. We're going to increase his loan to $566,000. Why? Because we're paying off debt. Now, he's currently got a 3.275 interest rate. We calculated, I think that's about accurate, 3.275. For this example purposes, that makes sense. We are not giving you an offer to loan. This is educational purposes only. So we got an interest rate of 3.275. Brings a payment. Now you're looking at principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and what his household debt is that we're going to pay off in this process. Payments on all that comes out to $5,233.29. Now, how do we make this work better for this family? How do we know if this makes sense for the family? Well, we combine all the debt and the cost of the loan into a new loan at $566,765. Now, normally we're not going to do it exactly right to the penny like that. The reason it came out to odd numbers is because all we did is just add the debt and some of the costs. Now, what I'm suggesting here is if you look down, you're going to see that I put in there cash to close is $56.67. That's basically 1 month's payment. So instead of skipping a month, they're going to just keep making that payment. But the bottom line here is if you notice on all the scenarios that I present, we use the exact same payment amount. All the way across, it's the exact same payment amount. So take a look at that. Now let's look and see further. What does that mean? We're saving on the payments because of what was going into the debt, $1,359.93. And that basically where we come up with that is we're looking at, okay, what was the household debt service for this bundle? Was $5,233.29. We want to keep that the same. We're not looking to increase the expense of the household. So we're keeping it the same. Now, in the first scenario, what are we doing with that extra $1,359? We're just putting into a savings account. It's not going to get us a whole heck of a lot, but we put it into a savings account anyway. The next scenario, what happens if we apply it right to the mortgage? Now, if you understand amortization tables, and if you've ever done a mortgage, at the very beginning of a mortgage, most of the payment goes to interest, and a small amount goes to principal. But when we take and put this extra money, this $1,359.93, right into the extra payment, it's going all to principal. Now, why is it that there's so much money goes to interest at the beginning and only a little bit goes to principal? Because the loan balance is so high. When you start putting $1,300 extra every month toward the principal, well, now you're charging that interest rate on a smaller number, and that's why you get an exponential savings over time. Now, in the fourth column, what I did is I said, okay, what if we take this $1,359 and we put it into an investment account? Sorry, my mind's blank there. We put it into an investment account. And can't guarantee returns on that, but they do give, we know programs that have averaged 8% over the last 30 years. So we talk about it that way. Now, over time, what does this do for this family? Well, their current program is they've got 29 and a half years left on their loan. Does that matter? Not really, because if you're 40 years old, that means you're going to pay off your loan at age 70, maybe. Not going to happen. If you're 50 years old, you're going to pay it off at age 80. Not going to happen. You're going to do something else. We keep our loans. Last number I saw was 5.2 years. How long did you keep your last loan? How long did you keep the loan before that? So what's really important is not resetting the loan. That's what a lot of people say is, I don't want to reset the loan, Ron, and go back to, in this first scenario, another 30-year loan. I don't want to do that. Well, of course you don't want to do that. But does it matter? Because you're not going to ever pay this off. So it doesn't really matter how much longer you have. What really matters is what is the balance when you're ready to make the next loan, to do the next change. Just if you wanted to know it, going under scenario 2 or option 2, you pay off the whole loan in 15 years. Under option 3, you pay off the whole loan in 14 years. Again, we're not paying them off, so it doesn't really matter. What matters is over the next 36 months, you're going to end up saving about $50,000 because of the way you're applying the money. Over 15 years, this is amazing. Over 15 years, the way you're going right now, over 5 years, 5 years, not 15. We did a short term on this one. Over 5 years, you're going to pay off $51,000 toward your principal. Under applying it to the mortgage, you're going to pay off $133,000, 3 times the amount, by following the strategy. 5 years. And again, we keep our loans 5.2 years. So you're going to pay off 3 times the amount of principal over 5 years because of the way we're working with that amortization table. And the numbers on the last one are kind of misleading because it says 38,000. But the reason it's 38,000 is because we've put a boatload of money into a separate savings account. So we have to look and find that number for you. I don't have that right here, but that's going to be even more money. You'll be able to, you would have the opportunity to pay more toward that principal if you just took the money out of your separate account and wrote a check to the principal. Now, what else does that do for you if you've got that separate account? If you can't work, you're protected. You've got a little savings right there because that's your money to do with as you choose. Just throw that out there for you. That's how you save money, by strategically refinancing and restructuring your household debt. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial market. Let's see, before I go on, any comments that I need to look at on there, Josh? I think, Joe, it's got to be Joe. A Facebook user the heckler has to be Joe because I do it on his podcasts all the time. So he's a friend of mine. Bottom line, you're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, how to roll back interest rates on a new home purchase. 15% of the contracts are being canceled right now because people think they're either paying too much or they can't afford the mortgage under the new comment or under the new scenario. So we'll talk about that. Should I buy a home right now? And On the Town, brought to you by Visit Anaheim. We'll talk about that as well. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your budget getting blown up with high prices of gas and increased costs for other household needs? This is Ron Siegel, host of the daily home and finance radio program. Did you know if you have a low interest rate mortgage along with auto debt, credit card debt, or student loans, your family could potentially save $500 or more per month by restructuring these debts? If you'd like a free Borrow Smart analysis with our team, let's book an appointment to see how we might be able to relieve some stress. Schedule your appointment at rsrbsa.com. That's rsrbsa.com for your free Borrow Smart analysis. rsrbsa.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. Should I buy a home right now? If you've been thinking about buying a home, you likely have one question on the top of your mind. Should I buy right now or should I wait? Well, no one can answer that question for you. Here's some information that could help you make your decision. The future of home price appreciation each quarter. Pulseonomics surveys a national panel of over 100 economists, real estate experts, and investment and market strategists to compile projections for the future of home price appreciation. The output is Home Price Expectation Survey. In the latest release, it's forecast home prices will continue appreciating over the next 5 years. Estimated home price appreciation, again, if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you're seeing a chart right now of the home price performance. Graph shows the rate of appreciation will moderate over the next few years as the market shifts away from unsustainable pace it saw during the pandemic. After this year, experts project home price appreciation will continue, but at levels that are more typical for the market. Lawrence Yoon, chief economist at the National Association of Realtors, says people should not anticipate another double-digit price appreciation. Those days are over. We may return to more normal price appreciation of 4 or 5% a year, unquote. For you, that ongoing appreciation should give you peace of mind. Your investment in home ownership is worthwhile because you're buying an asset that's projected to grow in value in the years ahead. What does that mean for you? To give you an idea of how this could impact your net worth, here's how a typical home could grow in value over the next few years using the expert price appreciation projections from the Pulseonomics survey mentioned just a minute ago. 2022, based on price appreciation projected by the Home Price Expectation Survey on a potential growth in household wealth over the next 5 years, based solely on increased home equity. If you purchased a $390,000 home in January 2022, think about that, $390,000, and we are I'm broadcasting, I should say, in Southern California. Yeah, I'm not sure you're finding too many at $390,000. 2022, $390,000. 2023, $426,270. 2024, that grows to $444,131. 2025, that grows to $457,000. 2026, that grows to $474,000. And 2027, it grows to $493,000 for a grand total, drum roll, please, It's a long drum roll. $102,787,000 over the 5 years. As the graph conveys, even at more typical pace of appreciation, you still stand to make significant equity gains as your home grows in value. That's what's at stake if you delay your plan. So think about that. By doing nothing, you could cost yourself $100,000, or figuring that the numbers here in California are double or triple that, $200,000 to $300,000. You're ready to become a homeowner, knowing that buying today can set you up for long-term success as your assets value and your own net worth is projected to grow with ongoing home price appreciation. I always ask you, if you have any friends, family, or coworkers looking to buy, sell, or borrow on real estate, can I count on you to introduce us? That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. So in the last segment, I talked to you about borrowing. Whoops, I got to get rid of that there. In the last segment, I talked to you about borrowing borrowing money and strategically paying off some debt. And I get it. Not everybody has that understanding of doing that. You go online and they're not going to tell you that it's wise for you to take that 3 1/4 and move it up to a 6 1/8 or 6 1/4. Again, I don't guarantee what the rates are. I'm just educating you. Well, now what I want to show you is what happens if we go the next step. You're thinking about buying a house and you're saying, Ron, I don't know if I can afford that interest rate. And again, this one I used a 6.5% interest rate. Again, not an actual number. It's just hypothetical. I don't know where rates are today. They were up significantly earlier in the day. Then they came back down a little bit later. And I'm broadcasting at 9 o'clock or recording this at 9 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday for those of you that are listening to us at a later date. So I don't know where the rates are going, but I'm just using a 6.5. Should be safe, hope, which is a 6.685 APR. And again, if you're listening to us on any of our broadcast channels, you're actually able to, I'm giving you the bird's eye view. Otherwise, I'm actually going to give you I'm going to give you the bird's eye view here. You can watch it with where Josh is showing it on the screen. Purchase price, $875,000. This happened to be a family in Northern California that we were looking at. It was a condo. Loan amount, $700,000, 6.5% interest rate, 6.685 was the APR. Gave him a $54,45.94 was his payment. Taxes, principal, interest, taxes, insurance. I don't know if there's any HOA. There's a lot of numbers that we just don't know on that one, but I'm just using this for an example purposes only. So it'll work for you. Now, what happens if we go to that seller and say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I don't want to pay you $875. Would you mind if I paid you $920 and use that $45,000 to help me with my payment so I can qualify? Now, right now, we're seeing, according to Redfin, 14.9% of contracts are being canceled. Why? Either people think they're paying too much or they can't afford it because of interest. Those are the two big reasons. We're seeing price reductions on almost a little over 30% of the properties that are listed nationwide are getting price reductions. So stop thinking about what the market was doing 3 months ago when there was 75 offers for every piece of property. It's coming back to reality right now. So again, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, would you accept an offer of $920,000, but I want you to give me, I want you to help me use that $45,000 over what you asked for. I'm giving you exactly what you asked for, but I want you to help me by using that $45,000 extra to help me with my payment. Now, 20% down on that jumps up to $736,000. We're going to drop the interest rate to 4.75%. We're going to go to $49.07 is the payment. Notice how that payment dropped $538.28. $538.28. Cash to close is $187,010. But I hear this all the time. Ron, what happens if the property doesn't appraise for that 920? We've got you covered there too. I'm going to throw back at you. What happens if the property doesn't appraise at 875? Okay, well, let's look at what if the property goes all the way down to $828,000. Well, we're going to keep the loan amount the same. We're going to keep the interest rate the same. APR 5.362. Payment stays the same. When you have the loan amount and the interest rate the same, the payment stays the same. The APR doesn't matter in that instance for those calculations. Again, educational purposes only. $4,907.65. Still the same, $538.29 savings. Got to tell you, though, if you don't do this the right way, and that's why I say bring our team in early in this transaction. If it's not done the right way, at the very end of the transaction, you're going to get a message from a compliance officer that says, wait a minute, you've triggered high-priced lending law limitations. What's high-priced lending law limitations or predatory lending law issues? That's because you didn't write the contract up the right way. If you don't write it up the right way, then you will get that error, and that comes out at the last minute, and all of a sudden your deal just blew up because you might have gone to somebody that didn't understand how to do these things. Now, if you do it the right way, bring our team in early. We understand this. We've already talked to the bank. We've already talked to the underwriters. We know how to write this up properly so you don't have that problem. You can save that $538.28 per month, which then equates to over 15 years, you're saving $156,000 in interest. $156,000 in interest saved over that time period. What does that do to your budget? What does that mean for your family? Now, remember, over time, these things all matter tremendously because your salary, your income is going to go up over time. That's going to help you out. Think about these things. That's why we want to share this with you early on so you understand exactly what we're talking about and you can get this done the right way. You don't have the problem with these issues. If you're watching us, or even if you're not, if you're missing this, I'm giving you too many numbers, go to ronsiegelradio.com. The first tab over has a button that says Radio Show Archives. We put these in the archives every single day. You can go to today's show in that folder, and you can watch it over and over again, as well as if you're on any of our social channels, right over there in the chat section, in the comment section, Josh has put in there a link to where you can actually go and just click the link to get the presentation. And you can bring it right up on your computer. You can look at the whole thing. I've actually narrated it so you'll understand all the numbers. And then if you have any questions, give a call to the team, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The team will then give you the information that you need and work it out for your specific situation. That's why I can't tell you the terminology right here, right now to put on the contract, is because I don't know what it'll be until we look at your contract. We have an idea of what the property is that you're looking at. And even if you go into negotiations, it'll change. So the first time you do it may not be the final terminology over time. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, On the Town, brought to you by Visit Anaheim and our Better Outcomes segment. What does vetting the house really mean? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your budget getting blown up with high prices of gas and increased costs for other household needs? This is Ron Siegel, host of the daily Home and Finance radio program. Did you know if you have a low interest rate mortgage along with auto debt, credit card debt, or student loans, your family could potentially save $500 or more per month by restructuring these debts? If you'd like a free Borrow Smart analysis with our team, let's book an appointment to see how we might be able to relieve some stress. Schedule your appointment at rsrbsa.com. That's rsrbsa.com for your free Borrow Smart analysis. rsrbsa.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. On the Town segment, brought to you by our friends at Visit Anaheim. Every week at this time, we bring you a major event of the week, a romantic event of the week, and a family event of the week. We've got all of those going on. We're going to give them to you right now. Brought to you by our friends at Visit Anaheim. The major event, Calica Mama's grand opening. Celebrate the grand opening of Calica Mama's with handcrafted cocktails and delicious eats in Anaheim. Located directly across from the Disneyland Resort, Calica Mamas pride themselves on serving real food from their homemade kitchen that supports local farmers and sources clean, non-GMO, organic ingredients, and also sustainable food, grass-fed meats, and free-range chicken. Be sure to try their flautas and churros while you're there. That sounds good. Romantic event of the week, 70s Soul by Earl J. and Company. Enjoy some soul music and stuffed potatoes at the 70s Soul by Earl J. and Company concert at the Stuffed Potato in the Anaheim Packing House on Saturday, July 23rd at 7:30 p.m. Purchase your tickets and stuffed potato specials on the Anaheim Packing House website. Marvel Universe live at the Honda Center. This is the family event of the week. Marvel fans assemble for this live, action-packed, legendary battle to defend the universe from evil. This all-new show unites some of Marvel's greatest superheroes, including Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Black Panther, Hulk, and Black Widow against some of the most threatening villains that the universe has to offer. Witness cutting-edge special effects, aerial stunts, and video projection in this incredible adventure. Fans of all ages will be impressed in the Marvel Universe and experience it all with their family live at Honda Center. There are multiple showtimes starting Thursday, July 20th to Sunday, July 23rd. Tickets start at $25, can be purchased at hondacenter.com. Cool stuff going on this week. I got to go back to this top one and talk about Calica Mama's grand opening. Obviously, the food one, right, Josh? I mean, what else would I be coming up with? I've never really gone to a restaurant that's all the organic and sustainable and grass-fed and free range, and it sounds good. Who wants to go? Calica Mama's grand opening. That's On the Town, brought to you by our friends over at Visit Anaheim. When you're ready for that, events, Visit Anaheim. They've got them all going. You can do events with Visit Anaheim. I think they can do as small as 10 people, and they go up to thousands of people. I think the biggest one that Anaheim does is over 100,000 people for the event. It's the NAMM event. So Visit Anaheim. Give them a call. VisitAnaheim.org. The Better Outcomes segment today being brought to you by mycdlp.com, mycdlp.com. What does vetting the house really mean? The term vetting the house has become commonplace in today's political and business world. What does vetting mean, and how does it fit into divorce mortgage planning? Vetting means conducting a thorough and diligent review of a person, document, property, investment, or solution. In a divorce setting, vetting the professional divorce team is a critical step to make sure they will not only work well with you, but that they are both reputable and knowledgeable. The divorce team can include any of the following: the attorney, financial advisor, mediator, divorce mortgage planner, and real estate professional. Where does the vetting process fit into divorce mortgage planning? The vetting process of the home and other real property goes beyond determining whether it is a marital or non-marital, whether it's the property ownership, tax status, the value, and equity available. The vetting process includes examining specific details of the marital home or other real property. Not only are the elements discovered during the vetting process critical to the divorce settlement process, but the details of the real property may determine what type of mortgage financing is available or not available. And this has nothing to do with credit scores and income. Divorce mortgage planning includes a thorough analysis of the various income sources, including employment, support income, and or no income, and what we can do to create qualifying income with financial and tax planning. In addition, how is the marital or individual debt being evaluated and distributed during the divorce? With a thorough vetting process, including the house, the income, the consumer debt, divorcing homeowners are in a stronger position to make a more informed decision regarding their home equity solutions. For decades, potential home buyers and mortgage borrowers have gone through a vetting process by the mortgage lender to reduce the risk of default. Obtaining mortgage pre-approval to purchase a new home has been common practice for many years. A pre-approval shows the home seller that the buyer has the financial strength to obtain mortgage financing and can complete the purchase transaction. The mortgage purchase pre-approval is one of the first steps required for home buyers, and it should be one of the first steps for a divorcing spouse before agreeing to refinance the marital home. Equity buyout pre-approval should also be required by the spouse retaining the marital home if new mortgage financing is required. For example, a refinance needed to remove the vacating spouse from the current mortgage, or when the in-spouse needs to buy the equity ownership from the out-spouse in cash form. Vetting the divorce mortgage planner involved is another crucial step. A certified divorce lending professional is a divorce mortgage planner with extensive training and background knowledge. The CDLP brings strength value to the divorce team during the settlement process because of their more vital perspective. Their understanding of the intersection of family law, tax law, real estate, and mortgage financing truly separates them from other mortgage professionals in the industry. Who you work with really does matter. A successful divorce settlement is a result of putting the pieces of the puzzle together in such a manner that both divorcing spouses come out of the divorce whole. Each member of the professional divorce team should bring value and perspective that benefits the overall outcome and success. Working with a certified divorce lending professional, CDLP, and incorporating divorce mortgage planning into the divorce settlement may help both spouses obtain new mortgage financing post-divorce. As a divorce mortgage planner, the CDLP can help divorcing homeowners make a more informed decision regarding their home equity solutions while helping the professional divorce team identify any potential conflicts between the divorce settlement, home equity solutions, as well as the real property issues. Give us a call today to get your copy of the Divorce Your Mortgage Home Workbook. That's mydymworkbook.com, mydymworkbook.com. Workbook will help you get organized, be prepared, and understand your mortgage financing position. Bet whether you are needing to refinance the marital home in an equity buyout situation or prepare to sell and purchase the new home post-divorce. As I always share with you, this is not legal advice. I'm not even giving you tax advice here. I'm just sharing you educational information so you have a better outcome in your whole entire system. That is the Better Outcome segment, again, brought to you by mycdlp.com, mycdlp.com. Hope you're getting a lot of great information here. We always try to bring you the best possible information on Ron Siegel Radio. A lot of educational information, a lot of information to try and just get you to a solution to everything that's going on in your business and financial world, your home and financial world. And obviously we extend that because what affects your home and finances? Yeah, it's your roof over your head, your bank account, the environment you live in, the political environment, the inflation, the finances. All of that goes into it. Charitable organizations. That's why we bring on the people that we do bring on all the time. I think we got time. Josh, we have time to get a better Borrow Smart segment in here? Okay. Josh tells me that I don't have time to give you a borrow smart segment, so we'll save that one for tomorrow. As always, I ask you, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
My boss just pushed me over the limit. I'd like to call him something